Ladies and gentlemen, this 29-year-old woman found dead in a suitcase in Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland. Ladies and gentlemen, she was found in a suitcase in a gully in Savannah Lamar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we don't know the circumstances surrounding her death, one thing I must say, this is barbaric. This is an atrocity. This is inhumane, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know that women can do some very dangerous things and make us to look like we are victims, ladies and gentlemen. And sometimes women do some things to you that make you feel like you want to unalive them. Because after they do their wrongs, they make it look like you are the one doing the wrong. They don't tell people what they have done, but they are telling people what you have done. However, no matter what this lady have done, ladies and gentlemen, nothing authorizes a man to do such an act to her. Ladies and gentlemen, leave all vengeance to God. Let me tell you this. The things that women did to me when it relates to my children, how they have disappeared with my children and then have me up on social media saying that I'm not taking care of my children when I don't even know where my children are. And all of these wickedness that women do to make you look like a monster. Ladies and gentlemen, these things will cause persons to do things. But what do? Do I go about unaliving them? No. I leave them to God. Because I cannot replace a life. You can't replace a life, ladies and gentlemen. It is God and God alone you should allow to take life because He is the one who created it. It is not our place to take a life, ladies and gentlemen, because you cannot replace the life that you take. The person who took this young lady's life, can you replace her? Can you replace her? Did you create her? Huh? Did you breathe a breath in her? 29 years of existence. Where were you in the 29 years of her existence only to come unalive this young lady? No matter what she have done, it's best if you just leave her alone. Let me tell you something, everybody is not evil. And along the way you might meet up on one or two people who will do bad things to you. But nothing gives you the right to take a life. And after you took the lady's life, you put her in a suitcase, throw out her body like garbage. That's barbaric. That's extreme, ladies and gentlemen. And that is something that should not be done. Much more, it's a woman here doing these things. So don't you have a mother? Don't you have a sister? If you have children, do you have a daughter? I have a daughter. And ladies and gentlemen, in as much as I don't know where she is, if anybody hurt her, I would find them. And it wouldn't be nice. Because ladies and gentlemen, life is precious. Life is precious. You can't just get up and destroy life. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't create life, you can't replace life, but you want to destroy a life like that. Unaliving the young lady, put her body, you find time to put her body in a suitcase and then throw her out in a gully like how you'd throw out a dead animal. That's barbaric, that's extreme. What type of heart do you have? Come on, what type of heart do you have? Let me tell you something. Women did things to me that makes me very angry. Even my friend said, listen me, why don't you go and unalive the person? Look what the person did to you. The person disrespect you, and the person deserve this. Who am I to determine that? Huh? Who am I to determine that? Or who are they to determine who should live from who should not live? We're not God, ladies and gentlemen. And to be destroying a life, ladies and gentlemen, that's extreme. That should be last resort. If you even have a weapon on you and somebody attack you, if you can run away, do so. Only take a life as last resort. It is not your place to take a life. That's God's job. People, don't believe that even now when I think of the things that people have done to me, don't you think I could have gone that way, but what? I am not authorized to take a life, ladies and gentlemen. That's God's job. So my condolences to the family, and I hope that justice will prevail, that this young lady will get the justice that she deserves, and that her family ladies and gentlemen, can find the perpetrators and bring them to justice. This is total wickedness, ladies and gentlemen. You don't hurt people, ladies and gentlemen. You don't hurt people. If you and a person can't get along, it's better you part company more than to hurt a person like that, and in this type of way that is pure evil. That's like a ritual. Probably she is a victim of a ritualist, because we do have them here in Jamaica, you know. Many of these people that are gone missing, many children and all of these stuff that have gone missing, they could be victim of a ritualist. Because some of them, and that is the reason why you should not envy people when you see them with their money, because you don't know what they have done to get the money that they have. So don't grudge anybody for money, because many of them are involved in ritualists. That's why they are rich. That's why they are prosperous. That's why they get their big contracts. Ladies and gentlemen, pray for this family. Pray for this family, this young lady's family, because this is total wickedness, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you something. I do not support wickedness in any way. And no matter what a person do to you, it's better you leave them to God. The scripture says, vengeance is mine, saith God. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, says God. God will give you the justice that you need. He do things his way. Everybody who have been wronged in one way or another, God will give you justice. God will give you justice, ladies and gentlemen. Because no matter how good you are, you will always find one and two people who don't like you. And this young lady, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what she have done, or I don't know if somebody will envy her. Sometimes you'll be surprised to know who the perpetrators of the crime is. Sometimes it's your best friend, because they are jealous of you, because they see something in you that they don't see in themselves. Worse if you are a person that looks like things are happening good things are happening for. I'm talking about like you get a promotion, you get a good husband, you have somebody who is spending money on you, you have a business that is successful. People will envy you for that, and they will laugh with you and pretend like they're happy for you when they are jealous of you, ladies and gentlemen. Because what? They can't wait on God's timing. They are sitting down and envying you. They don't know the struggles that you have been through to reach where you are. But they see things start happening for you, and it appeared as if nothing is happening for them. Nothing is happening for them at the moment, because it is not yet their time. Wait on your time, ladies and gentlemen. Good things will come to those who wait. And while you're waiting on your time, work on your attitude, work on your character, and be careful who you tell about your success, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful how you go around opening up your mouth telling people about your success. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they will destroy you out of jealousy, out of envy. Sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut. Sometimes it's best to hush your mouth.